Hello, my name is Fraser Simons. This is my channel, Springboard Thought. Today's a little bit chilly, as you can maybe tell. When I'm upstairs writing in my office, I always have this hoodie on. This is my kind of writing hoodie. And we have entered hoodie and sock season, which is sad for me, but whatever. Today I'm going to be reviewing Swimming Back to Trout River by Rui Feng. And this book is about an immigrant experience that is quite unique, at least for me. I haven't read anything like it. Set in a sort of atemporal structure, we jump back and forth between the lives of two parents, Kasia and Momo. Both of them are from China. They grew up in the Cultural Revolution, and that really informs their dynamics. We also know that something like traumatic has happened to both of them. We don't know what it is yet at the very beginning, but we know that it's something that shapes the contours of their lives. They also, we find out, have a daughter named Junie, who in 1986 receives a letter from Momo, I believe it is, saying that he intends to collect her and bring her to America, where they have immigrated. But what ends up happening throughout this structure is we get like all the rest of the lives that are sort of there in the white space at the beginning. There's a whole bunch of very interesting questions that kind of sit there, percolate, and are revealed at the exact right moments, I think, in the narrative. It's really compelling stuff. And what's more is it's very adept at communicating cultural differences that make a very big deal in terms of identity that are often sort of pushed to the side, we'll say. With Western culture, they don't understand very specific aspects of Chinese culture, such as, for one, the fact that Junie is being raised by her grandparents. That's not an unusual occurrence, really. Even my brother's wife had that experience as well. And it's something that a lot of Westerners tend to like not really think about or ask about or generally have a cultural awareness of ourselves. So it's very interesting. We also have the interplay between the generations happening. Junie feels very different than her parents, of course, and they're having survived the Cultural Revolution and the things that it entailed for their family really has some strong implications for the rest of their lives that in a way is like very synonymous with a theme of music throughout it. Momo becomes sort of obsessed with music as a sort of lifeline, and we get to slowly discover why that is. We also then learn that the parents are sort of estranged in America and are having very different experiences because of this schism that happens in their lives, which we learn about eventually as well. So there's just a really adept structure at play that always keeps you on the hook, and it's very compelling, it's harrowing, and it also is really good at doling out specific information to the reader at the times that you need to have it, instead of sort of like inundating you with like an info dump or something about their lives and their things that are happening with them. It could easily have been an overwhelming story, but instead it's very, like I said, parceled out. You're very able to like sink into the richness of the prose. The narration for the audiobook, which is how I consumed it, was fantastic. The prose are pretty lyrical, and so it was kind of suited to narration anyway, and thankfully it was pulled off well. It's a quick read, the pacing is good, it's a different kind of immigration story, as I mentioned. I have very little complaints aside from there's a little bit of an X factor that is missing, and I think that's due to the atemporalness of the structure. I felt like I knew the characters pretty well, but I never felt really attached to them because they're always kept at an arm's length from the narrative, just from how the point of view works. And so I simultaneously know why that was done, and I think it suits the structure very well, which I also really like, but it still did prevent me from fully connecting to it. I gave it 4 stars out of 5, and this book should have definitely made the shortlist in my opinion. It's better than Son of the House, and it's better than What Strange Paradise. It's a very different but yet similar theme, so it'll be interesting to see if the Giller Prize judges make their sort of methodology or reasoning known to everybody. I don't know if that's a thing that happens with this award. It's the first time that I'm following it, but it'd be interesting to me to figure out why. Just like I sort of surmised that M by Kim Thuy was moved off the short list because perhaps she had won a lot of accolades already. But then I considered that Fight Night by Miriam Toews, or Taves, I always do that, is similarly one that's won tons of awards, right? She's probably maybe the only one internationally known, possibly. And so, yeah, it's an interesting short list, and I wonder how they arrived at it. I still have 2 short story collections, I think, to consume of this. One of them is by a transgender author, and all of the stories in it are from transgender perspectives, I think. So I'm super interested in checking that out. If you've read this book or any other Giller books, let me know what you thought of it, what your short list is, who your hope is winning on November 8th or 7th, something like that. Tell me what your pick is and why, and I will see you next time. Bye.